Hello guys, this is Matrix Ray, and I'm showing you some resolution comparisons between native 1440p versus native PS2. I will also be doing some frame rate testing and show you guys the best settings for ColdFear. We are using large frame buffer, a custom resolution of 2560 by 1440p native, 16 times anisotropic filtering, mip mapping is on automatic default, full direct 3D recommended, and we are using 16 times MSAA. This game at 1440p with 16 times MSAA enabled costs 1.5 gigabytes of video RAM, which is not that bad at all. It's pretty good. We are using text filtering of display and FXAA shader. We are using bilinear forced. Unfortunately, this game does not have a filtered HUD with bilinear PS2, so you have to force it, unfortunately. But that's fine. It's only a quick change of the setting, and it's all filtered. Every single HUD in the game is all unfiltered, so it's all blocky and chunky, so it's not attractive at all in my opinion. We're using Direct3D 11 hardware, and let's go to here real quick. Now, unfortunately, I'll get back to here real quick. I'm so glad I left this on default, otherwise I would have forgotten. But there's a few problems with this game, but let's get back to that very shortly. We are using MTVU. Now, I do not recommend it for this game. Well, I kind of do at the same time, because there's a problem I'm going to point out very shortly. But yeah, let's just say I do recommend it. I have 6 cores. You need 3 cores to run this hack on, so just turn it on if you have enough cores. Alright, now let's just quickly go to the PS2 dimensions and then I'll mention everything. Now, this game does target 640 by 448. Now, here are the problems I want to mention. You know that setting I was in before? Now, I'll quickly get to that very shortly, but that I was there for a reason. This game has some shadow problems here and there. Yes, OpenGL can fix it, but that's only in some areas of the game. This game has a lot of loading screens, and in this section I'm in now, the shadow is actually perfectly fine, as you see. But that's one problem to be aware of. Now, unfortunately, there is screen shaking as well in some stages as well. So if you want to fix that, just click on F5 on the keyboard, and go from auto to auto, or go back to the video settings and just flick from auto back to auto, but you have to change it once in the settings. So click on F5 once and then click on auto once you go back into the video settings to fix up the screen shaking. It only happens so many times. It's very rare in the game. There's like 3 or 4 rooms I went into that caused a problem. Now, I want to quickly mention this game does target 30 frames per second. Now, here's my counter on the top left. It says 60, but actually it means 30. So if I drop a frame, it's because, obviously, I lost game speed or I lost frames. Now, as you see, this game is pretty much running at full speed right now. Now, the other problem is the super recompile thing. So as you see, I'm running full speed on software mode on native PS2, but when I go to native 1440p, yes, the shadow is perfectly fine again. Actually looks quite clear as well, which obviously at a high resolution. The game looks a lot clearer as well because it's native 1440p and it's still full speed, which is really, really good. This game does target 30, as I said. Also, the HUD is all filtered. Here's my my gun. Here's my ammo. Here's my my HUD for my ammo. Here's my my consumption right there, and there's a broken sprite right underneath it as well. So I'll quickly show you this real quick. If I go to native PS2, it's gone, but when I go to native 1440p, the sprite is broken. When upscaling at high resolutions, it's broken. Can't do anything about that. That's what happens with old games on old engines. Here's my HUD here. You know, it's quite outdated, unfortunately, at higher resolutions. Here's some HUDs right here. You know, it doesn't look too terribly bad, but it is dated in my opinion. Look at the triangle there. There's a lot of steps right there. Now, let's quickly point this out. So as you see, game runs at full speed, which is good. But here is the biggest problem when you play this game on the PSX2. Let's go back to the video settings. This is very important as well. So if I go back here to VU settings, now as you see, you can see that the VU is enabled right there. That means that your MTVU hack is turned on. Yes, my MTVU hack is turned on, so that's why it shows up there. But as soon as I turn on Super VU Recompile Legacy and go back in the game, it's turned off. It's because it actually does turn off the MTVU hack. I should have mentioned that a bit earlier, but you get the point, okay? Now, since MTVU is turned off, the game does run slower, but here's the biggest thing. If you're playing this game and you're outdoors, you're going to crash your PSX2 every minute. When you're on a Russian boat in this game, yeah? And if all the waves crash into you, all on top of you, or even hitting the boat, it kind of causes the emulator just to crash. It loves to just crash out of nowhere. It's the only game that does that to me out of all my 56 games I have on here. Now, this is the default settings, as you see. This is the one you want to turn on. If you don't turn this on, your game's going to crash. You can leave this one on indoors, but you have to keep changing it every second or two. So you just have to leave Super VU on. Now, leave these all on basic or default because none of these work at all. So just make sure you leave this one on. Turn that on, and unfortunately, as I said, MTVU is turned off now. Now, with having that hack on and MTVU off, the game actually does cost performance. Having Legacy, the Super Recompiler Legacy turned on, it does cost performance. As you see, I'm dropping some frame rate on the top left corner of the screen. So I'm dropping down to like 28 frames, 25 frames per second. And unfortunately, you can't fix that. If the game didn't decide to crash out in the open, you wouldn't have to turn it on, but this is one of the games you have to turn it on for. Here's a big guy right here. It makes your controllers kind of stiff as well. Like, it's hard to aim with your controller if you're dropping frames as well. So let's just kill this guy real quick. The reload button's the X button, isn't it? Oh, it's not. Oh, okay. Just use this shotgun real quick. But yeah, look how clear this boss looks. If I go to native PS2, this is how clear the boss looks at native PS2. You can barely see his teeth anymore. Oh, he's dead. There's a bit of blood coming out of his arm there. Let's go to native 1440p. You know, you see that the gas looks a bit clearer, but only mildly different though. But other than that, oh, my frame counter died on the top left. But other than that, this is pretty much ColdFear on the PCSX2. There are some problems, as I said, I had to mention. It took me a while to explain it all, but I'm sorry. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.